with my 7 gallon tank, you saw my unboxing. If you haven't, you could check it out. But what I did with it was I transferred my inhabitants from my 5 gallon reef tank, which was made out of acrylic, to my new 7 gallon full view aquarium. And what do I have to say about the full view aquarium versus my acrylic tank? Well, I love it. I just couldn't take the acrylic. I don't know if it was some cheap acrylic or something, but it just got so badly scratched up that even like there's snail bite marks and all on it. So it just got so bad that I wanted to replace it. And the full view aquarium looks really nice. Um, the slope actually, I'd say it's functional, and like I won't say it's like a gimmick where it just it's cool. It actually makes the tank look quite a bit different from having your standard flat panel, and I'd say different in a good way. Um, Either way, I guess I might as well update you as well on what has happened with my reef tank. So the first thing I would like to say is the move went fairly well. I was most worried about transferring my pom pom crab, as I had a pretty bad experience of moving crabs in the past. However, that went really well. Um, I was a little worried about transferring some of my corals, um, but that went really well as well, and all my corals are fine. Though, in general, my corals haven't been doing that well, mainly because, well, I didn't have my tank set up properly. My ATO had to be taken down, so that reduced my stability and all that. So it was really going through its phase, but those things are getting fixed. Well, have been fixed. Um, and so everything got transferred well. And the reason why I chose this full view aquarium for my reef tank was because of its size and dimensions. With this full view aquarium, I am still at 7 gallons. I'm still able to use all the same equipment from my 5 gallon tank. I think anything bigger, and I probably would have had to upgrade equipment. And that's the main reason why I wanted to go with this upgrade. Was, well, first of all, the acrylic tank was just absolutely terrible condition. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't go acrylic for a reef tank just because of how hard it is to remove certain algae. In a freshwater tank, it's not as bad because you don't have stuff that you need to really scrub down on like coralline, and you don't have inverts that could end up possibly damaging the acrylic. So in a freshwater tank, acrylic probably won't be bad, but in a saltwater tank, you can't use razor blades for on acrylic, which makes it really hard to remove the coralline. A lot of magnetic cleaners end up scratching it. There's just a lot of things that I didn't like about the acrylic, and that's the main reason I upgraded it. And the main reason I chose this size was because I could keep all my equipment the same, get a slight upgrade in size. The tank looks great, and I don't need to purchase any new equipment. All the equipment is running fine. The Aquarium 50 produces enough flow for the whole tank. The Astia 20 still produces enough light for the whole tank. And that's the next thing is the dimensions are basically a cube, and the tank is the same length as my old tank, but the depth is almost equal to my old tank. So, but it's a little shorter. So either way, it still could use the same light. I could still use the same heater. The heater is rated up to 7 gallons. This is a 7 gallon tank. The filter produces enough flow at 350 gallons per hour. That is about 35 times turnover in flow. I could still use my algae scrubber, so it was quite an easy move. And just worked out pretty well. The only things that didn't make it were my feather duster, and also when I was transferring the things from the tank, the next thing I was worried about was the pulsing xenia. As you guys know, I tried to transfer pulsing xenia or frag pulsing xenia before, and it didn't go well. But this time I went with a different approach, and it worked perfectly. Just tie it to a rock with some thread, and then after a few days it will attach, and you can just take off the thread. And it went really well. Main reason I don't want pulsing xenia floating around my tank. Pulsing xenia could easily take over a tank, and you really don't want that floating around the tank. So that's that. My tank is working great. The flow is great. The tank looks gorgeous. And that's basically all you're getting on an update. Not much has changed actually, other than the algae scrubber has been performing excellently.